All right. This is a line that I heard in the third Prokofiev piano concerto, and I'll put a link in the comments with the timestamp so you can hear what it sounds like in the real song. It goes by really quickly. It's just a quick little 16th note triplet line in the piano. But I when I was listening, I definitely could tell that it was an augmented pattern. And I'm always on the lookout for different diminished and augmented patterns, specifically from the classical guys. Just to see if they utilized it in a different way compared to a lot of typical like jazz vocab. And I have one other line, a half whole diminished line that I heard in a Stravinsky piece. I'll put that in the description as well if you want to check that out. It's a pretty cool line. So this one, and also let's just talk about really quickly what an augmented scale is, because a lot of people think that an augmented scale is just another way of saying whole tone scale, and they're actually two different things. So we'll start on the G note. That's going to be the key. So when you're doing a G whole tone scale, you have two augmented arpeggios that are a whole step apart. So you have G, B, and D sharp, right? That's the one augmented. And then you go up a whole step to A. You have A, C sharp, and F. So by combining those two arpeggios, you get a whole tone scale. So the main difference with the whole tone and the augmented is the augmented scale, you play the root note, right? You do an augmented arpeggio off of the root. So you have G, B, and D sharp. And then you actually go up a minor third as opposed to a whole step. So then you go up to B flat. You do an augmented arpeggio off of that. You have B flat, D, and F sharp. And by combining those 6 notes, you get the augmented scale. And the biggest difference tonality wise between whole tone and augmented is whole tone scale has a flatted seventh, while a augmented scale has major seven. So the big difference as far as chord wise goes is whole tone would function more over like dominant sharp 11 chords, whereas augmented is more for like a major 7 sharp 5 type of sound. Okay, and this pattern, this is like in a G augmented scale, and these scales are symmetrical, so it doesn't necessarily have to be considered G. You can think of it as G, D sharp, or B, whatever is easiest for you, however you like to think about it. So we start all the way up on our 22nd fret. If you have, sorry that the frets are so high on this, by the way, if you only have 21 frets, you can move everything just down a half step. Just play the whole thing down a fret. So what we do here is it does a G augmented arpeggio starting on the 5th, so it's the 22nd fret, pull off to B, and then on the string below that you have your middle finger on G, so right, it's a G major arpeggio, but then you pull off to the F sharp and you go down a B major arpeggio. So both arpeggios are starting on the 5th. So G major going down starting on the 5th. Then you pull off to F sharp, and now it's a B major arpeggio starting on the 5th. So that's the first pattern. Second one, I go down to the 15th position, and it's not, once again, it's another G major arpeggio, but it's a little different. You do a G major starting on the root, down to the 3rd, so root, 5th, and 3rd, right? So G, D, B. And then you pull off again, another one of those pull-offs down a half step, and now it's an augmented starting on B flat. So B flat, F sharp, D, So those are the two main patterns, and you just move it down an octave. So what we have is, okay, so major, G major, B major, G major, B flat, augmented. So he's changing up that second arpeggio of each sequence. So that down an octave fingering, you do this, you're on the 15th fret of the 2nd string with your pinky. Once again, G major, you pull off to the 12th fret, and then I do the 12th fret on the 3rd string, and I slide down a fret. And then from there, go down the B major arpeggio, right? So we have F sharp, D sharp with the middle finger, B with the ring finger. And then G major again. This time I'm doing it on the 12th fret of the G string. So pointer finger on G, go up a string, pointer finger on D, ring finger pull off to the A sharp, and then that's with the middle finger, and then I just finish off, or I'm sorry, I should have said B flat, not A sharp, because I'm thinking